Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with the Future Tech Podcast. My guest today is Mehdi, the CEO of Dataperformers. The website is dataperformers.com. Mehdi, how are you today?
Very good. How about you?
Good. I'm ready for my 10 millionth podcast with you. So
yes.
No, I'm just kidding, but yeah. Tell me about Dataperformers. What's the premise of the company?
Yes. So Dataperformers is an applied AI research, especially focused in AI company, mainly based in Montreal, and we have several offices in Shanghai, Tunis in North Africa. And we have two main AI segments, fintech and all the technology related to structured data in general, and another segment related to computer vision. So it implies all the technologies that could touch in-store marketing and security.
Okay, can you give me an example of what kind of, you don't have to say the exact client, but what's
Yes.
a situation where you've provided AI to a client, and what do they use it for, and what did it do for them?
Yes. For example, for our product Stellar could be considered as a customer data platform driven by AI, and the whole idea is trying to bringing alternative data from different external source and matching it with internal data in banks and financial institutions in order to improve profiling companies. And then once we have a very accurate profile, we can do several interesting predictions, for example, predicting the needs of the new servicing or financing, or predicting the churn. So this will help our clients, mainly financial institutions, to have an accurate and updated view on their business clients, and it helps sales departments to prioritize tasks, basically. From the other side, we have another product that we call SpectreNet. So SpectreNet is a core technology of computer vision, and this includes a technology that is allow us to detect, track, and recognize, and even identify uniquely an object through a camera. So basically, we can use a video or images, and we use that to provide marketing companies sort of in-store analysis. You can consider it as the Google Analytics that people use for their website to analyze the traffic, to understand some patterns, and then improve the design to reach a specific client segment. So it's the same, but in the physical way. So today we have physical stores where we have people, but there is a kind of blackout on what's going on there. We can count people, but with our technology we can go a little bit further. We can classify number of people based on different categories. So this could help.
Well, I have a question. If
yes.
I have a store,
yes,
are you able to tell me literally, if I don't know if you can correlate this to the actual customer name, but is there a way to tie into who pays something at the register, who they are, and then if they came in the store, you correlate it with their image, and if they come back in the store, you can know that it's them and suggest products to them and stuff like that? Are we at that point with facial recognition and machine vision?
I totally understand your question. So technically we are able to do it, but we are not doing it for many reasons, and especially the first and the most important reason is the legal reason. So actually, in a legal way, we are not allowed to identify a person. We can track a person. We can give give a person like that's moving in the perspective of a camera a number, for example, and we can associate this number to a transaction, for example. But we are not able and we are not allowed like to say this person is Mehdi, for example. So, but definitely there is a capability to do it if, for example, stores have like the right to do it and they have the right data.
Well, why are we not allowed? Does the law specifically say that you can't use facial recognition to identify a person in your store, or where does the law say that this can't be done?
Yes, basically, the law said that to contact any person, for example, as a store or as a business, you need to have like a proper agreement where someone say yes, you can reach me by email if we don't want to consider it as a spam, So it's the same thing. So I can identify a person, but I'm not able to take any action thanks to this identification without like the authorization of the person. So
does that include visual? You're not able to say, "Oh, I've seen this person come in before." The computer tells me that, and say, "Hey, I noticed last time you bought makeup. Do you want to buy hair care this time?"
Technically, yes, this is possible, but after discussing with many businesses, the main interest is more, let's say, general to a specific segment of clients. For example, young men 18 to 23 years old. So they are mostly interested to a group of people and associating this group of people to a specific behavior. So then they can adjust, for example, their marketing campaign through the web or through the social media. So, and for example,
okay.
I can know that this group of people, I don't know why, but this group of people, I can convert like their visit to a sales, especially Thursday evening. I don't know why Thursday evening, but this is how it happens. So all this knowledge and insights like can help like marketers like to take better decisions.
Oh, like if I have a sandwich shop, or let's say I have a restaurant, and for some reason I could see like Friday and Saturday nights I get 18 to 24-year-olds, but weekday middle of the week I get older people like in their 50s. You're able to find that kind of stuff.
Yes, because actually the information that we have is related to the POS. So I know roughly how many persons came like to the restaurant, but I don't know if the person that ordered maybe pizza, is he like young, elder, etc. So this is the kind of information of precision and accuracy that marketers are looking for.
Okay, and so any examples of where you've gotten this data and it changed the way a certain business does its work? Like, what did they do in response to the data, and how did it help them?
So, in terms of business, for example, I can mention like two examples related to the two main segments that we are offering. In banking, for example, we discussed first about Stellar AI, which is a customer data platform. So, thanks to a more accurate profiling, I will receive like a call from my bank in the right time, for example. Or better than that, I will not be, for example, how to say, I don't know if you can use the word, but discriminated from an offer because the bank have a very, very far, let's say, perception of my profile, far than how to say it, let's say, very different from the reality. Let me give you an example, for example. You start a startup, and the startups, like most of the startups starts with few of people, very low capital, and etc. So, but startups moves very fast comparatively to other kind of companies, for example, a manufacturer, where the growth of manufacturer, if it's realized, for example, 12%, so good for an established manufacturer, but for a startup, it could grow 300% in 6 months. So, problem is the data that financial institutions are using today are not up to date, and the models are not made for continued flow of data. So, and this is the role of artificial intelligence, because the whole idea of learning models is a model that classify, for example, a company from very interesting company or a company with a very huge growth potential to, for example, extremely growth potential company automatically. So you define first a learning model that is very like, let's say, general, and then with the data, automatically the model will learn like to classify better and better like companies or people behavior and etc.
Yeah, you got to train the model on your specifics, no matter how powerful it is, in order for it to work properly, right?
Yes. So if there is a new trend happening in the market, for example, imagine that we are in a case of allowing people to get credit cards. So the model will automatically learn, like, get this trend, and it will start to classify differently, like, thanks to the data companies, for example, human behavior. So this is one of the case. The second case, so it helps banks or like financial institutions to address client with a proper offer, and it helps also the client to receive the proper offer, or for example, to be considered in a realistic way without, for example, saying, oh yeah, it's a small company, there is no potential, for example. So this kind of rules, AI will replace, let's say, partially like the purely intuitive, expertise-based rules to factual and data-driven rules. This is a side. From the other side, it's basically the same idea. AI can be used also to extract this knowledge, but from unstructured data like video or like image. So we are able to help businesses to get information of what's going on, to profile, let's say, their days and their business days, like in an automatic way. So I can know, for example, as a business, how many people visit my store today, but I don't know what these people are doing inside my store. So something that we are working on these days is to recognize not only like people characteristics, but actions also. If someone like came close a specific article many times, so I can associate like the person categories to an interest, let's say, to this category of products. So there's a lot of interesting insights that can help businesses to take better.
Okay. And then how sophisticated are the models that you're able to use right now, and what's lacking in them that you wish you could do that's just not there yet technologically?
For both of sides, okay. Like let's say the challenge from both of the products are very different. I will start with Stellar, which is the financial institution product. For Stellar, one of the big challenges is data availability. So we are addressing it in a way that we guarantee to financial institutions to keep their data safe in the bank or in their organizations without keeping it, without taking it out. So these are the sort of layer of complexity from our side, how we can create learning models for data sometimes that we don't have fully access on it, or fully access on the explanation of this data. This is one challenge. The second challenge related to computer vision now. For the computer vision, one of the challenge is to automatically extracting complex, we call it generally like the situation awareness. And situation awareness is a little bit more complex than just understanding what's going on in an image. Because humans, for example, intelligence can lead us to a lot of inference in a very automatic way. Let me give you an example. If, for example, I don't know, I smell an odor, and then I see a dish, I can associate automatically this odor like to the dish, like on the table, automatically. Machines have, it's a challenge for a machine to do something like this. Machine can recognize, for example, like a dish or something. Machine can recognize it thanks to another sensor, for example, maybe another. But it's really complex to have this situation awareness, like to get almost a full understanding of a scene. So we are trying actually like to work on this direction by adding, for example, understanding of the actions, and then the action, it means like the relation between like an object to another. How we can qualify this relation, for example, etc.
Okay, I gotcha. So what industries are you finding make best use of your products, and which ones are, it's not as useful for yet?
Actually, I think in AI generally, three main industries now are booming, and still booming, let's say. Finance, and including insurtech, etc. Healthcare, security. And then there is something emerging today is the marketing, not the classic one of the Google search, etc., but let's say like the example that I mentioned is about associating like a scene content like to a result of a campaign. This is emerging today. Healthcare, for example, is something that we didn't have chance like to go in, but I believe that it's incredibly big market for AI where there is tons of use cases and problems to solve thanks to this technology.
Okay, well, very good. Is your solution better for smaller companies, or they have to be pretty big in order to benefit from it?
Actually, most of our technologies are made for big companies. We are a B2B company, and for example, for the financial institutions, tech, so it's made for financial institutions, and generally financial institutions is a big company. But in our plan in the last quarter of 2018 and 2019, we are working on a new version where we want to open the door to more and more companies, including, for example, B2B company, where profiling a client thanks to AI will be not only associated to financial institution or insurtech or fintechs, but it could be associated to any business that is trying to profile his client or his prospects. So we have the intention also to open the door to smaller businesses.
Okay, well, very good. Well, Mehdi, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Basically for Dataperformers is contact@dataperformers.com, and I'll be glad to discuss with people thanks to LinkedIn, Mehdi Merai, and yes.
Okay, well, very good. Well, Mehdi, thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.